Hi, my name is Mark Hefner. I'm the training coordinator here with the Johnstone Supply Training Center. And today we're going to go over the Pro 1 series thermostat, specifically the T715. So again, this is the Pro 1 thermostat, the T715. This will do standard gas furnaces, but it'll also do heat pump systems if you want it to as well. It's available to work with a lot of different systems. When you actually get this thermostat installed, you can get to the technician settings by pushing menu, and then you'll need to push and hold the tech set button for about 3 seconds until the screen changes. Once that happens, the first option it will show you is the filter change reminder. You can adjust this by pushing on the up and or the plus and minus arrows. This will set how many hours until it gives you a filter reminder change. And then you can push next step, which will take you to the temperature calibration. This will change the actual temperature reading that the thermostat shows. You can adjust up or down 4 degrees on this setting. So that's up to you if you want to change that. This one's a little handy if you're working on the system. This is the compressor short cycle delay. Right now I have it set to off, but if it's on and you have the system in cooling and it cycles off, it won't cycle back on again for 5 minutes. That's a safety feature for the compressor, which is good to have, but if you're working on it, trying to do some service, it's handy to turn it off sometimes. You'll then go to the cooling swing. This is also called the cycle rate or differential. This will actually affect how often the system turns on and off. So this first one, again, for cooling, is set at 0.2. So once it detects a 0.2 temperature difference, it'll actually energize the system. Most thermostats comes set to 0.5, but you could change that up to a full degree or more if you want to. You can do the same thing with the heating. Again, this one's set at the default of 0.5 right now, but you can adjust it up so the system would cycle less often, or you can adjust it down so the system will cycle more often. This depends on what kind of comfort level the homeowner is looking for. You can also do the heating set point limit. You can actually change the maximum temperature you can set the thermostat to for heating. And if you go to the next step, it's the same thing for cooling. You can set the cooling the maximum cooling limit. You can also do Fahrenheit and Celsius. So if you want to confuse people, you can set it to Celsius, but don't confuse people. Leave it to Fahrenheit if they're familiar with that. You can also do a 12 or 24-hour clock. Maybe you're a military time man. That's up to you. And lastly is the fan operation. This is a setting you might want to change if you're doing gas versus electric heat. And then once you're done with all the settings, that's all 10 of them, you'll just go ahead and push the done button. If you forget to push the done button, not a big deal. It'll automatically go back to its regular settings within a couple minutes. This is a programmable thermostat as well. It's able to run a schedule. So for example, if you want to set a schedule, you either need to turn it to cooling or heating respectively. So right now we'll look at cooling, and the first thing you'll notice is that it's actually already running a schedule right now. It's saying it's set at 76. And if you turn it down, you'll see that it says run schedule and hold. And right now when you turn it down, it actually will set to this temperature until it hits the next item on the schedule. If you want to turn the schedule off completely, just push hold, and then it will ignore all schedules that it has set and will only do what you tell it to. If you do want it to go back to the schedule, you click Run Schedule. Now to set the actual schedule, you'll push the menu button, and we'll go to Set Schedule. And this is where we can set our schedule for Monday through Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday respectively as well. So the first thing it'll do is it'll show you the time. You can adjust what time you want the thermostat to turn on using the plus or minus for your wake up. If you push next step, it'll take you to the temperature as well, what temperature you would like it to go to at that time. You push next step again, it'll go to leave time. This is you leaving for the day, so your thermostat will be able to set a little bit higher while you're away. We could say 8 a.m. here. Go to our next step and say we're okay with it being 78 degrees in the home while we're gone. You go to the next step again. This is your return time. You're going to come home from work and you want your house to be comfortable. So maybe you come home at 5. You could set it for 4:45 so it comes on before that. Set the temperature to what you like. Let's say 74 here. And then you'll go to sleep, which is, again, letting the thermostat rise a little bit if you want it to, or maybe you want it to turn down even more while you're asleep, adjusting the time and the temperature through the next step. And don't worry, if you ever miss a step, you can always just hit previous step and go back to adjust the time or whatever you need to do. And once you've done all that, that's all for your Monday through Friday schedule. When you push next step again, it'll go through those same steps again for Saturday specifically. You again have the wake up time and temperature, as well as when you leave, the time and temperature again, the return, and lastly the sleep. And yet again, if you push next step, it'll do all of that for Sunday as well. So that's how you would set your schedule for cooling. You'll set done when you're good with that. And it's the exact same things for the heating side, except you just put it to heat. You again go to the menu and your set schedule, and you can go through all those steps. Again, the important thing to remember, if you ever don't like what it's doing, you can tell it to hold, and it'll disregard the schedule and run the thermostat at whatever you set it to. So thanks for tuning in for the setup on the T715 Pro 1 series of thermostat. I hope this was helpful for you. Remember, if you get frustrated with the thermostat, it's not a good idea to set it on fire. But for this and any other training needs, come check us out at the Johnstone Supply Training Center, where you get real-world experience for your real-world career.